Zelenskyy warns Moscow it is sowing a deep hatred for Russia among Ukrainians.
Here's a summary of the article.
Lviv, Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy angrily warned Moscow that it is sowing a deep hatred for Russia among his people, as constant artillery barrages and aerial bombings are reducing cities to rubble, killing civilians and driving others into shelters, leaving them to scrounge for food and water to survive. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has ground into a war of attrition in many places, with the toll on civilians rising as Moscow seeks to pound cities into submission from entrenched positions. A nuclear research facility in the besieged city of Kharkiv, near the Russian border, again came under fire Saturday, and Ukraine's nuclear watchdog said that because of ongoing hostilities it was impossible to assess the extent of the damage. Russia's back-to-back airstrikes shook the city that has become a haven for an estimated 200,000 people who have had to flee their hometowns. Advertisement, in the dim, crowded bomb shelter under an apartment block a short ways from the first blast site, Alana Ukrainets, a 34-year-old IT professional, said she couldn't believe she had to hide again after fleeing from the northeastern city of Kharkiv, one of the most bombarded cities of the war. Two cities on opposite ends of the country are seeing some of the worst suffering at the moment. Chernihiv in the north, strategically located on the road from the Belarusian border to the capital, Kyiv, and Mariupol in the south, a key port city on the Sea of Azov, both are encircled by Russian forces, but still holding out. Chernihiv has been under attack since the early days of the invasion, and over the last week, Russia destroyed the main vehicular bridge leading out of the city and rendered a nearby pedestrian bridge impassable, cutting off the last route for civilians to flee, or for food and medicine to be brought in.
This post received a score of 47,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
This will leave marks for generations to come. Decades of contribution, progress destroyed in few weeks.
This is true. I read somewhere long ago about a research done in countries that had fought defensive wars, and the conclusion was that there was hate, resentment for 3 generations. Only the 4th generation started to normalize. But even then it was not gone. The end result is long-lasting and destructive.
I think it might take much longer on a subconscious level. The older generation in Malta that had pretty much never been abroad or seen a non-white foreigner still distrusted the Turks. The last time they attacked us was 1565.
Iceland is still pissed at the Turks for a raid that occurred in 1627. Funny thing is, it wasn't even the Turks who conducted the raid.
Fears of a repeat of the Turks' raid were a driving force for the establishment of self-defense groups well into the 19th century. The island of Vest-Manajar maintained a small fort called Skansen for centuries for that reason. A law was put in place that made it legal to kill any Turkish person found in Iceland, and although it was forgotten soon, it wasn't repealed until centuries later. But Icelanders are not still pissed at the Turkish. They might bring it up just to joke with a Turkish tourist, but nobody is actually still pissed about it.
Greater than fears of a repeat of the Turks' raid were a driving force for the establishment of self-defense groups. So how the turntables?
Edit. Looks like app completely changed the linked article. Here's a copy from stripes.com with the important part.
Wasn't conservation of the Russian language one of Putin's goals?
This invasion has bopped so many of his big-ticket goals it's really incredible to behold. Weakening NATO, failed. Disrupt Western influence, failed. Novorossiya, on track to be totally derailed. Along with the Russian economy and international trade. Absolutely in ruins. For nothing.
I watched his talk before the invasion where he gives some background and talks about how ungrateful Ukraine is for everything Russia did to help them, how Crimea was gifted to them with no justification etc. I kept wondering, okay, let's imagine you're not omitting any details. What's your point? What are you trying to achieve? How is all this history relevant today? Do you not understand that aggression can only make it much worse? At some point, he mentions that Ukraine started demolishing statues of Lenin, calling this decommunization, makes a dramatic pause and says with a change in face, I quote, "We'll show you what decommunization looks like." This really makes me wonder if this hurt him at the deepest level, and all of this is not an attempt to achieve any goals but just stupid rage and revenge over this.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.